All right, what are we looking at now? What is this?
Well, these are, according to Paul Myerberg, a friend of the Grum.
Friend of the Grum, Paul.
From USA Today, these are the Big Ten head coach rankings.
Okay.
All 18 of them lined up neatly in a row. He has, at number 18, David Braun, Northwestern.
Man, that's a tough look. He was an interim coach last second, took him to a bowl game, and then last season they absolutely stunk.
Number 17, Deshaun Foster, UCLA.
They're in LA.
Number 16, Mike Loxley, Maryland.
Wow.
Number 15, Jed Fish, Washington.
Dang, he was good at Arizona. That's low.
Think he's a walleye?
Number 14, suspension boy, Sharon Moore.
But he beat
Michigan.
Ohio State.
Look at this, Purdue. Purdue is ranked ahead of Michigan in football.
Purdue.
Barry Odom,
Sorry.
Purdue, number 13.
I don't even know him.
Yeah, they're getting kicked out of the league, though, remember?
Jonathan Smith,
What a
Michigan State, 12.
basic name.
It's close to John Doe.
My name is Jonathan Smith.
When they were naming John Doe back in the day, it's honestly a surprise that it wasn't John Smith because he would be one.
Number 11, Luke Fickell,
Dang.
Wisconsin.
Dang.
Number 10, we're in the top 10 now.
Okay.
So if this were actually the Big Ten, these would be your rankings. Number 10, Greg Schiano, Rutgers. Number 9, Lincoln Riley, USC. Number 8, it's Burt.
Wow.
Brett Bielema,
That might
Illinois.
that's low, man.
Number 7, PJ Fleck.
Why is PJ ahead of Bielema?
Minnesota.
Roll the boat.
No, he shouldn't be ahead of Bielema.
Number 6,
Sigs, baby.
Kurt Signetti.
Mr. Menthol himself.
Sigs are back.
You're
Joe
saying,
Campbell.
wait a minute. You haven't mentioned Matt Rhule yet. That's right, because he's number 5.
Oh, that's the top 5.
Good call, Nick.
Then it's Dan Lanning at 4, Kirk Ferentz 3, James Franklin 2, and that handsome man.
God, he's not handsome.
His hair that's all dyed, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's
think
Prince Voltan himself,
I think he-
Ryan Day of Ohio
dips
State.
it in ink.
It looks like shoe polish.
Okay, I got a couple bones
All
with
right,
this list.
Give it to us, Bone
Let's
Boy.
pick
Let me
some
hear it,
bones.
Come on, Bones.
Dan Lanning. Why is Dan Lanning at 4? He just won the conference. He won the Pac-12, right? I guess Washington did in their last year in there. But he has won the Pac-12 before. He's made it to the Rose Bowl. Why is Oregon there and Ferentz, Iowa, when's the last time they won their conference, John? 20 years ago. James
Hawks.
Franklin last won his conference 8-9 years ago. I would say Lanning is the obvious number 2.
It's weird.
Nah, I wouldn't go obvious.
It feels weird seeing Kurt Ferentz so high, and I'm saying this as an Iowa fan.
Kirk Ferentz is not the third best coach in the conference.
He is the longest tenured coach, and they have been consistently in the
the
they've
mid,
been consistently good.
consistently fine is what they have
Consistently
been.
mid.
Sure,
Yeah, but I mean,
a lot of that's longevity. I see. You know what the thing is with this exercise?
also Bielema's way too low,
You know what it tells me?
and Rhule's way too high.
It tells me that after you get past number 1, you could probably like tier like 3 different tiers, just throw the names in the hat and just pick one. Like so like in your next tier, you could have Franklin and Ferentz and Lanning and just throw them in a hat and just pick one. And you're probably not wrong. And then you could have another tier where you got the guys like Rhule and Signetti and Fleck and Bielema, and you could throw them in a hat. You could, and then you get the guys at the bottom of the list.
How is Bielema that much lower than Rhule? How is Bielema that much lower than almost anybody on this list?
So, I'm not trying to sound like a hater here,
But
why is Sigs below Rhule with what
Nick-
Sigs was able to do with that team?
I'm guessing they're saying it's only 1 year so far at Indiana.
Correct.
But Rhule's only had 2 years in Nebraska, and neither of those years have been good.
That's
So,
true.
Yeah, I would have, in my opinion, my tier 1 would be Day, Lanning, and Franklin, and then I would separate. Then I'd have a drop, and in that next drop is the Bielema, Ferentz, like Fleck kind of a little longer term mixed in with the what do you do with this Signetti? I mean, Lincoln Riley, honestly, John, we've barely mentioned his name, is such a fascinating test case because he has some super high highs and not that long ago, but God, his last 2 years have stunk. And so it's like, what do you do with that? Because it seems like he's a coach who is absolutely regressing. Luke Fickell being at 11, like you do this list 2 years ago, and he would probably be in the top 5. And now, by the end of this year, he might be fired for Washington. So I think you have an obvious tier 1. I think tier 2 is kind of arguable on who I would want to put in there. But man, I'm definitely surprised. I think Bielema is the most shocking to me on this. And I guess Franklin even being the number 2 is kind of shocking to me as well. Just given it's been a long time since they won. And one of the biggest knocks against him is his actual coaching. It's not building the program, but it's the dude, there's a lot of pressure on Penn State this year. It's very much a national championship or bust type conversation.
I was really surprised that Matt Rhule was in the top 5.
Yeah, that I don't get that. Going back to what Nick asked with Signetti, if it's just a short-term thing to drop him, that's fine. Then why is Rhule 5?
And here's what I would say. Yes, certainly, like Lincoln Riley's only in the top 10 because of what he was able to do at Oklahoma. If he didn't have that reputation preceding him, it'd be even lower on this list. But he does. And so you are getting, and obviously Ferentz, he's getting credit for longevity and success that has happened, further out than 5 or 10 years.
How much of that is
But with Matt Rhule, he hasn't had success in college since 2019.
It's been a long time.
How much of it is also just the amount of draft picks that Iowa gets just because of...
Well, yeah, we just got a text from Dave.
Yeah, there's certainly...
What Ferentz does with 2 and 3 stars is incredible. Yeah, it definitely is.
That is true.
It definitely is. But at a certain point, though, I guess if I wanted to argue, at a certain point, you got to win conference championships. The names on this list that have won the league are Day, Franklin, Ferentz, Lanning, and Bielema.
And
that have won this conference.
Correct.
And that's the list in terms of that have won the Big Ten. If you want who have won conferences, then you can start adding in Rhule. Siggs did it, at a much lower level. Obviously, Lincoln Riley did. Schiano did a long time ago with Rutgers when they were in the Big East. Fickell with Cincinnati. And so then you're getting into an entirely different tier of coaches. The lesson maybe, John, kind of like what you said, is like Ryan Day and then everybody else. It's wow. I mean, there's a lot of upheaval in this league in recent years, and I think you're going to have some more this season as well.
Of all the rest, Lanning is the one candidate that I see that could be in that, he's obviously here category.
Oh, yeah.
With another good year.
Yeah.
Because he's trending in the right direction. Franklin, too, if they live up to the national championship
if they can break
prognosis that a lot of people have for him. So those guys certainly have the chance. Obviously, Ferentz is nearing the end of the line. So, the hay's in the barn with him. But, yeah, Franklin and Lanning are the next 2 in line that could be in the Ryan Day tier. But what happens this year will have a lot to say about that.
It definitely will.